Welcome into the PFF NFL Daily and happy opening day. That's right. We got football tonight, NFL action for real. It's Bills Rams, and we're going to preview the whole thing. By the way, there's no better way to preview it than with the new PFF app. You should go download it. Leave us the 5-star review. Make your game prediction. If you download it today, give us your game prediction. Bills, Rams, and a score. If anybody gets close, we'll read it right here on the Daily. So go check that out. New PFF app, 5-star review. Bills, Rams, game prediction. Leave us a comment. All right, Sam, let's go through some of the big storylines here. The NFL has done us a solid with an incredible opening night game. Bills, Rams, all of the storylines. Von Miller was a Ram just a few months ago, winning the Super Bowl. Now he's a Buffalo Bill. We got all sorts of turnover with both teams. Both teams are two of the best Super Bowl favorites. So what are you looking for in tonight's game?
Anytime I'm previewing a Rams game, my analysis starts with Aaron Donald. How do you stop Aaron Donald? And the last time the Bills faced Aaron Donald, he went off for, 7 pressures or whatever. Donald is a singular, unique force in today's NFL. We saw it firsthand live at Bengals training camp, just how unfair he is one-on-one in reps and drills. Like, he's impossible to stop. If you're trying to block that guy one-on-one, forget about it. And teams don't anymore. Teams have figured out that you can't leave Aaron Donald one-on-one with an offensive lineman. You have to double team him. You have to scheme against him. You have to almost eliminate any chance he has of having a one-on-one rep, because when he gets one of those, he will win. And that's going to be the fascinating thing to watch, is what are the Bills going to do? Because remember, this is a team without a group of superstars along the offensive line. They've built a line that is average across the board, because that's really all you need in today's NFL, unless you're facing Aaron Donald. So what do you do with a collection of 5 average guys to stop the best player in the NFL?
Yeah, of all the spots on the offensive line, right guard, a bit of a trouble spot for the Bills. Question marks at right tackle. Roger Saffold comes in at left guard. He's coming off of his lowest grade in years, including a 46th grade as a pass blocker last year for the Titans. So, look, there are questions for the Bills, and I think we're going to get some answers to them right away. That's the thing we've said all season. We love the Bills. We love what they look like. Yesterday in the Daily, we both agreed they're the best team in the NFL. They're our number one team if we were both power ranking them. But the big question mark is this offensive line. Can they hold up? And they're going to have to do it against this really good Rams pass rush. I think the Rams defense in general against this Bills offense is going to be just a great matchup, because the Rams have been so good at limiting big plays. Whether it was Brandon Staley's defense 2 years ago, same thing last year, same scheme, but with different quirks and a little bit more blitzing and moving Jalen Ramsey around in the secondary. The Rams were number 3 last year, EPA per play against on 10-plus yard throws. It's one of those metrics I always look at for the defense. How well did they do covering the ball down the field? The Rams they were the best in 2020. They were 3rd best last year, even with Raheem Morris coming in, tweaking the scheme. They remain one of the toughest teams to make those downfield throws against, and that's what the Bills want to do with Stephon Diggs, with Gabriel Davis. The Bills spread the ball around, but they want to create those chunk plays with Josh Allen and his arm. So it's going to be a great matchup if the Rams continue to limit the deep stuff and make Josh Allen win underneath, which is one of those things that teams have had a little success doing, much like they have had with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, it's funny. I think overall, the people see the Bills as a better team than the Rams. They're a shorter odds favorite to win the Super Bowl. Generally, they're seen as the better side, but it feels like, the way week 1, overreaction week, something happens, it's completely different to everybody's opinion going into the season. It's one game, but we're going to overreact the hell out of it because it's the only new piece of football information for the last 9 months. This feels like a game where we might be coming out of it and going, oh, wow, are the Bills totally overrated? Are the Rams actually way better? Is this whole Buffalo hype train a myth, a figment of everybody's imagination? Because 1, Aaron Donald, 2, no Tre'Davious White, and all of a sudden you've got to cover multiple now really high-end receiving options for the Los Angeles Rams. Cooper Kupp still there, Allen Robinson, Matthew Stafford's ability to push the ball anywhere on the field. 3, the areas that you just talked about, the capacity of the Rams to limit those big plays. And you've got the kind of question marks of the Bills receiving core outside of Stephon Diggs. Gabriel Davis had a great end of the season, the playoff run, but projecting him into this, number 2 role in this offense is still a projection. So I think there's a world where those things all break against Buffalo, and it's like crisis after this game.
Sam, we will not overreact to week one. Remember, the Bills lost last year. I may have overreacted. I thought maybe they were overrated. They lost to the Steelers in week one last year. Speaking of week one, you can get ready for all the action with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Bet just $5 on any football game and get $200 in free bets instantly. And now everyone can experience the thrill of DraftKings early win promotion. You get up 7, you win. Bet on any NFL team of your choice, and if your team leads by 7 points at any point during the game, you get paid instantly, even if your team loses. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code PFF. Get $200 in free bets instantly when you place a $5 bet on any football game. It's promo code PFF only at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for terms and resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Minimum $5 deposit, 1 per new customer. $200 issued as 8 $25 free bets. All right, let's not forget the Rams have questions on their offensive line as well, Sam. Matthew Stafford had that tendonitis. You got to keep him safe. And you've got Joseph Noteboom filling in for the guy that's our age, left tackle Andrew Whitworth. Noteboom comes in. He's making $13 million a year. He's only got a handful of starts in the NFL, played excellent down the stretch. They won a Super Bowl with Noteboom, right? Like filling in down the stretch there. But he's got to go up against his old teammate now, Von Miller, who's now on the Buffalo Bills. Coleman Shelton slated to start at right guard. Another question mark. So 2 out of 5 spots on the Rams offensive line come with their own question marks.
Yeah, and the Von Miller thing is fascinating because, the Rams talked about what a boost he was, not just as a player, but as a leader on that team and being able to come in and help everybody and, bring that group along and really make sure that everybody was playing up to their capacity. But also, remember, Von Miller was the guy that sort of started this run of position-specific offseason like camps, Von Miller's pass rush academy or whatever he called it, that spawned tight end and spawned, all these other specific position groups. Von Miller was the guy that started that. And all of a sudden you got him being added to this Buffalo Bills roster that's got some young, talented pass rushers that haven't maybe reached their full potential yet, whether it's, even going back to AJ Epinesa, but Boogie Basham, but Gregory Rousseau. Like, they've got a lot of these young, talented, physically capable players that I think have to benefit from having Von Miller in the building, not just in the way that, Aaron Donald would benefit in terms of pulling attention away and kind of combining, but actually benefiting from being kind of coached up by the veteran.
That's why I think that's one of the best matchups. I love that insight that you're bringing there, is that Von could help bring those really good athletes forward. The Bills have made it a point to attack the trenches with some really good athletes, both sides of the ball. And that defensive line could be rolling 8 or 9 deep here. And I think it's that depth going up against this Rams offensive line that has a few pieces that they're still trying to figure out. As much as they say they might not want, or they don't think there's any limitations to Matthew Stafford and his tendonitis and all that fun stuff, they probably don't want him throwing 50 times a game. So and the Rams do like to run the ball. So even in the Super Bowl, it was a lot of early down runs that weren't going anywhere until they did turn it over to Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford and said, hey, guys, go win a game for us. But I could see the Rams coming out, trying to run the ball, and the Bills' defensive front, it's a big game for them because we always talk about them trying to play softer coverage, lighter boxes. They rely on that defensive front, and this could be a telling game to see if they truly do have, the depth that it seems like they have, a championship-level defensive front here.
I do think, though, that this has the potential to be one of those games where the two quarterbacks just slug it out. It's a shootout. It's a back and forth. It's like that Josh Allen versus Patrick Mahomes game in the playoffs that was a genuine, battle for the ages. Maybe it won't be quite as absurd as that, but that kind of game where these two offenses are just hammering away at each other, built off the back of crazy plays by both quarterbacks.
I mean, that's what we hope for, right? I mean, that was – let's not forget, we just saw a playoffs last year. The most recent games we saw, everything came down to the wire. Everything came down to, final kick or, one last fourth down or whatever it was. So I'm expecting another great game as well. I love it. Rams, Bills, a lot of storylines tonight. Do you want to make our official prediction or save that for the podcast? The big show.
Save it for the big show.
It's going to be on the big show, the official prediction. But you guys can have a prediction for this game. Like I said, download the PFF app, 5-star review. and then let us know. Rams, Bills, who's going to win and why?